Hey friends, welcome back to Plumbing with Tim. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to replace the 503 Sloan Flushmate pressure vessel on a Kohler K404 tank. So we've already went ahead and removed the tank from the bowl inside of the customer's house. And we brought it out to the van to work on it. But before we get started, let's go through a couple things. So right here we have the Kohler K404 tank, which has the Sloan Flushmate pressure vessel installed inside of the customer's. Asked us to go ahead and replace 2 of these vessels inside of toilets. And this is what you're looking at. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and when we remove these 2 nuts, don't lose these 2 little parts because they'll fall out, because we need to get this little handle, actuator handle, off there, and I'll show you what the next move is. Our actuator handles off. Make sure not to lose those little screws and brackets to hold that on. We're going to flip this tank over on its back so that way we can see the bottom end and start taking it apart. Kohler is famous for having the 3 bolts. This has nothing to do with the pressure vessel at all. The new kit will come with a new washer and all that stuff. We're going to go ahead and take this off because usually they're a one and done kind of thing. Peel it off there, and we want to take this nut loose as well as that nut right there. We got both those nuts off. If you look carefully over here where the water supply comes in, somebody installed these, they put some caulking in there. That's not normal. Must have been a leak of some sort because there's a gasket that's inside of the tank that's supposed to keep this thing watertight. So we're gonna pop this whole piece out and then clean all that crap out of there. Let me show you. I'm talking about somebody put caulking in here. I don't know why. Maybe they had a leak at one time, whatever. That's going to be the water inlet. And the pressure vessel will be mounted in there like that. A little bit of sand cloth goes a long ways. Or maybe even a little razor knife. Just be careful. You don't want to break it. Now that we've got our orifices kind of cleaned up and ready to go, now is the time before we install the new pressure vessel to go ahead and inspect your tank bolts, make sure they're not corroded and all that stuff, because if they are, now is the time to do so. This time we are ready to make the replacement install on our Sloan Flushmate in the Kohler K404 tank. Let's go ahead, open up the box, get it out, and see what we got. Not forget our accessory gasket bag in the bottom. You're gonna need all that stuff. Inside the accessory bag comes with both the gaskets for the bottom of the toilet, one for the inside and one for the outside, as well as 2 retention nuts. And our inlet regulator also has its own gasket that's right there, ready to go. Let's go ahead and get our gasket set and get this tank inside the other tank. We got pressure vessel flipped upside down. We got our thinner gasket. One's got a flat side, one's a ribbed end. Before this vessel goes inside the tank, we're going to take this thinner gasket and we're going to slide it down, rib side out, sorry about that, over top of this part of the flush valve. You want to get it down so it's seated all the way to the bottom. First thing we need to do is look at this little hole that's down here where our water inlet regulator is going to go. That's got to get slid in there first. Then we'll line up our other larger part. Nice and easy. Can't really see much. Trust me. smaller nut and At least get this thing started so it doesn't keep falling out. Don't tighten it up all the way, something like that. The larger nut on there, don't tighten anything because you got to make sure everything is straight inside of the tank. This is to prevent any of this stuff from falling out of here. There, it's kind of in place. Now we need to make sure up top everything is straight. That's what we're kind of looking at. We need to go back down underneath and tighten both of those nuts up nice and snug. Now for the larger nut, you're probably going to need an oversized pair of channel locks to get that snug. Last but not least, on the bottom of the tank, we want to take the tank to bowl gasket and install it right over top of there. Your hand just kind of seat it all the way down. It will fit. Don't force it. Make sure it's all the way around, snug to the bottom of the tank. Like that. See that? Not very difficult. Just take your time, and remember, these are pressure vessels. Okay, so you have to be careful with these things. Read your instructions, your precautionary measures, safety, and all that good stuff. And I'll talk about one more thing before we take this back in and install it. These replacement Flushmates by Sloan pressure vessels. They come on the outside of the box. Tells you the series. It tells you different toilets that this series it will fit. Like I said, this is a Kohler K404 tank, and on and on and on. So this is a good reference to keep. If you need to, take a picture of it or cut this piece of cardboard out and keep it for records, or go to Kohler.com for more answers. Before we install the tank, wipe up around where that gasket's going to go so we don't create any voids, and it seals properly to the tank, to the bowl. When you're working on these Kohler 3-bolt toilets, make sure to tighten them in series, almost like you would put lug nuts on a tire or a wheel on a car. Rotate them. Don't tighten one nut down more than the other, because you'll stress something out and end up cracking the porcelain, trust me. And when you're tightening these nuts down, you want to make sure that they're not too tight. You want it to be tight enough where the gasket is going to have a good seal to the top of the bowl. Not so much you're going to break porcelain, so take your time. Look how nice and smushed down that gasket is. That's how you want it. No leaks here. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for hanging out. Watch the video of the replacement of the Sloan Flushmate pressure vessel number 503 inside of the Kohler K404 tank. Didn't really get into a lot of the troubleshooting and how to calibrate the canister and all that other good stuff. If you'd like to check out information on that, check out the right-hand top corner of your screen. That video right there will tell you all about that. In the meantime, if you've got any comments, questions, leave them down below, and don't forget to keep plumbing.